Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft. Let me just find me on my Facebook page. Find the live so I can grab up comments. Hopefully this will work a bit better than earlier today. I knew I wouldn't get 8 lives live. So just pulling up my comments. Hi Jen, hi Beverly. I don't have my little comment person with me today, so I've got to watch comments myself. Thanks, Jen. I haven't done anything with the colours yet. Does look nice, doesn't it? Let's see if the colours play nice together. I was just saying to a friend, if my laptop and internet don't work, they're going to have a timeout outside. Hey, Tabitha. I'm sounding good. I'm sounding a bit tired today. Very tired today. Even though I went to bed early last night. Weird. So as people start coming in, we are going to play with some of my design stencils. So I picked out the rainbow one. I'm trying to pick ones we've actually got on the site, which is getting difficult because I want to play with all the other ones. We've got our shell design, and we've got our squiggly circle thing. I don't know what it's called. I should have been organised, shouldn't I? And we're going to play with some Lindy Stamp Gang or pigment powders or Colour Blast powders as well. They're interchangeable, so we can mix all the colours up. So there's 2 ways you can use the powders. You can sprinkle them on and hit them with water, or you can mix them with things. So we're going to mix them with something to start with, and then we're going to do the colour splashy ones. So these powders all mix with products. So I can mix them with a gel medium, or I can mix them with, oh, my gesso's under my phone. I don't want to touch my phone. I can mix them with white gesso. Mixing them with white gesso will pastelise the colour. I like bright colours, so let's use some gel matte medium. So Jen from Hillbilly Scrap and sells, and she'll probably pop her website link up if she wants to. She sells this matte gel medium. It's great in a tube because it's a great size and it tends to not dry out. So let's try this pink. This is a Lindy Stamp Gang Peony Scarlet Red. Okay, it's a red. Looks pink on the top of the jar. Oh, that's always good. I got a Facebook notification saying I'm live about 10 seconds after I go live. That's interesting. So to get these powders out, I tend to use a dry paintbrush. I learnt this off Hillbilly, off Jen. I call her Hillbilly because I have a couple of friends called Jen. I refer to her as Hillbilly in the house, and it's just got a habit of mine. So just going to put the lid back on that before I tip it anywhere. Just going to grab my silicone brush and mix the colour in. Oh, that is a nice red colour. So the more powder you mix in, the more bright the colour. And because this is mixed with a matte gel medium, it's not going to pastelise the colour. What stencil are we going to use? I think we're going to use this squirrely circle one. So I'm going to line up my card and line up my stencil. This matte gel medium is thick, so you want to do this with a thick one. You don't want to do it with like a liquid matte gel medium. You want something that will actually sit on your spatula and not run under the stencil. So we're basically just going to load our spatula up, load up on the bottom, and scrape through our stencil. Don't think I actually mixed up enough. That's right. We'll make it work. We'll scrape it across. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's actually more of a brown colour. It's very deceiving on the top of the lid. Oh, I suppose it is that. Which one did I use? No, I didn't use that one. I used this one. Peony Scarlet Red. I thought it'd be more like a pinky colour. That's alright. This is why it's nice to do swatches of your products so you know exactly how they turn out. So after you've filled up your entire stencil, we're going to peel it off. And this will dry slightly raised. Let's run under the stencil there a bit. So that will dry raised. So that's one way to use our stencils and the powders. But I like this other way. I'm just going to throw my stencil in a bucket of water. Before the live, I actually prepared some cards so I wouldn't have to use my heat tool and deafen you all. Trying to get a hold of a quiet heat tool. So I've actually done some here. I've written on the back which ones they are. Hang on a minute. I'll sort them out. So I've done the same 3 stencils in matte gel medium. So this is straight from the tube. I've just scraped it across the stencil and dried it off. So you're seeing white on white. And then what I've also done is texture paste or modeling cream. It comes in a huge lot of different names and different brands. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to sprinkle the powders. What 2 colours are we going to use? We're going to use, let's do yellow and not peony red scarlet. Let's do pop and pink and yellow, and then it will make orange. So when you're choosing colours, you want colours that will sort of play nice together and mix together really nicely. You don't want colours that will make mud, so you don't want red and green. So again, just going to grab a little bit on the paintbrush, and I'm going to flick. I didn't get any. Don't think I still got any. Oh, there we go. You might not be able to see the powders yet, but this powder goes a long way. You hardly need any of it. I'm going to drop that little lid thing in a minute. Let's squish that down into there. Then it will sit on my lid better. And then some of them come in shakers, which are really handy. Wrong end. I always open the wrong end. So this one we're just going to tap a little bit down. So the design that we've got on the stencil is actually going to resist all this colour we're putting on. So it's going to stay white, and any of the exposed paper is going to go these beautiful colours. Just moving everything out of the way so I don't squirt everything with water. So just water in my little squirty bottle. We're going to activate the powders. As you can see, the design's coming up. So you can take, do I have another paintbrush? I cleaned up before, that's terrible. Yeah, I do have another paintbrush, but it's a small one. So you can take the paint and move it round. Oh, this is not a very nice paintbrush. I cleaned up off my desk before and put all my paintbrushes away in the water. So you can move this around. As you can see, this one is a matte gel one. So after this is dry, we should be able to remove the colour from the top of the gel. So we can pick this up, and I like to tap it on the table and get some of the colour to run down. A little bit more colour over here. Let's go the yellow. Where's my yellow shaker gone? I actually opened the correct side this time. So just flicking a little bit more on top. Don't need much of this powder at all. It goes a very long way. So I'm just going to move that around a bit. I'm going to put this one aside to dry while we play with another one. And then we're going to compare the 2 of them. So I wanted to sort of compare and show you what gel medium does to what texture paste does. Gel medium should stay white. The texture paste sometimes grabs the colour and gives you a pastel-y colour. So just moving a bit of that around. I'm going to put that off the side to dry so I don't have to put my heat tool on and deafen you all. While we work on, let's grab the same one in texture paste. This one. So this is just texture paste scraped through the stencil. And we'll go the same colours. What colour did I use? That one and that one. I like the pink colour. It's really nice. So I am still editing a video from this morning when my internet, whoops, that's way too much powder. Internet didn't work, so that will be up sometime this evening. It's an hour long, so it takes quite a while to edit it and get it ready for YouTube. So I can put it up. That was a wet paintbrush I stuck in there. Don't stick a wet paintbrush in there. I picked up the wrong paintbrush. As you can tell, I'm a bit tired tonight. Or this afternoon. I'm all thumbs. 4 days in a row is hard. But the shows, I think these are more exhausting doing these than the actual shows at the events. Okay, so I've probably got way too much powder on there. But that's okay. Let's flood it with some water and see how we go. So if you have got too much water on it, you can pick it up and drip it. Whoops. Just have to be fairly careful because your paper is soaking in that water. so it's going to get a bit fragile. Probably needs a bit more water. I can still see, if you can still see crystals of like the powder, just give it a bit more of a squirt to dissolve them. Now I've just got water running everywhere. I'm loving that pink. I think I went a bit heavy-handed on the pink. So what I am going to do is give them a quick dry with the heat tool because they are very sopping wet. Where did I put it? So it's going to get noisy for about 30 seconds. I do apologise. Hey Margaret, how you going? Close your ears. I'll turn down the volume for a little bit. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is grab a baby wipe, and we should be able to polish the colour off the top of the gel medium. It's soaked into the one with the texture paste, because the texture paste is very absorbent. So that's this one. So you've sort of got a tone on tone happening. You've got a different tone colour on the texture paste to a different tone on the paper. But this is the gel medium one, and I should be able to gently polish the top of the gel medium, just moving to a different part of the baby white to bring it back to white. So I'm not pressing very hard at all, just going round and round in circles while the pigment powder is not fully dry. You can actually go and polish it off the top of the plastic, because gel medium is basically a plastic that you're applying. So it has soaked in a little bit, but as you can see, there is a distinct difference between the two colours, between the two products, I should say. So these will make great card backgrounds. These would make great backgrounds on your scrapbook page, on your art journal. These powders are so much fun to play with. So I've managed to bring a lot more of that white back into it. So as you can see, you can get two different looks from the same sort of technique. Let's do a different design. Let's do the wiggly circle. Where's my wiggly circle? I might go find sentiments to put on these, and I'll post pictures of them when they're totally dry on the Facebook page. So these ones here are Colour Blast ones. So they're a different brand, but they're basically the same thing. It's like buying Coles on one, Safeway on the other. They do the same thing, they're interchangeable, but they're just different brands. So these ones I've just put into little containers with a pin up the top, so I can actually take the pin out and tap the jar instead of putting my paintbrush in, which is a much better way of getting your powder out. These ones I'll be putting into little jars. I bought some at the cheapy shop the other day. So I've got the jars with the soft lid that I can pierce with the drawing pin. So we'll be transferring those and labeling into the little jars so I can use them like this. Let's do this one. So I just hold the jar and basically tap it with my finger, and it sort of puts out enough powder without putting it everywhere, which is ideal. So this is blue, this was blue and Duke and Peacock. So it should be blue and green. It's a very nice blue, that one. So I'm just going to let that run all over the place. Oh, I'm liking this one. This one's really nice. This one is this one's a texture paste, so it will actually soak in and give you two blues, like a tone on tone. I lost a bit of the Peacock. I was a bit heavy-handed with the blue. So as you can see, you don't need much powder at all. So I'm just turning it around so it can run in all the grooves of where the texture paste is not and run over the top of the texture paste. So if you've got these big blobs of colour that you don't want, you can just come in with a paper towel or a baby wipe and soak up those big blobs of colour. Sometimes if you've got a pattern paper towel, you can actually get the pattern from the paper towel transferred. So let me find my one from the gel medium. Let's see if I can be a bit lighter with the Duke and a bit more heavy-handed with the Peacock. We'll see if we can get some green in there. I'm loving that blue. That's really cool. These might end up in my art journal. Trying to see if I've got some. Oh no, I've got some coming out. So almost you can't see the powder, but you should see just little specks. That blue's coming out a bit faster. So let's give that one a squirt. Why have we got, where'd the pink come from? Hello? Oh, it's come from my finger. Whoops. Okay, we're going to have a pink spot on this one. So these powders are water reactive, so they will react. Now I've got pink fingers. Again, I had pink fingers the other night. So these powders will keep reacting every time you touch them with water. My paper's a bit sopping wet. But this one's with the gel medium. It's probably a bit wet still, but I'll go see if I can wipe off. Oh, no, I'm able to wipe off. Just very gently wipe it back to white. I prefer it with the gel medium because I like the contrast, but it's nice to be able to get more than one look out of a product, which is why I like these pigment powders, because they're lots of fun. To be very gentle with that bit of paper, it is sopping wet. I like the speckledy look around the edge too. A bit more water here because I can see the powders are not totally dissolved. Hi Kelly, how you going? We're just playing with some pigment powders and activating them with water, and I've just got texture paste down through a stencil on this one, and this one I've got